Hi, I'm Kate McRae, more commonly known now as Wildlife Kate, and we are here in my beautiful garden in southwest Wales. And I will have been here 3 years in September, so moved in September 23 and basically bought the property of my dreams. So this is the house and 3 acres of the most beautiful land, which I'm going to take you around and show you. So come and have a look. So we've moved to my little meadow area. Now this is at the top of my land, and as you can see it's very open and sunny site, perfect for a meadow. So when I moved here there was a sort of meadow here, but I've been developing it over the last few years, and a good meadow takes a lot of work. So I'm cutting it just once a year at the end of the season, removing all the dead material, and then I've been collecting seed from the adjoining meadows on my property and basically trying to propagate this area to get rid of the grass. And one of the key things to stop the grass is a plant called a yellow rattle. And I worked hard to seed this area this year, and I'm delighted to see it coming up. And what yellow rattle does is that it parasitizes onto the roots of the grass, so it keeps the grass down, which gives the wildflowers more of a chance to come through. So it's a really exciting time of the year to see this all starting to come up, and it's going to be cracking this year. So now we're in what I've called my hide studio, and I'm so proud of this. This is probably one of the biggest projects I've done here. So you wouldn't believe it, but this was pretty derelict and a bit of an eyesore when I first moved in. And this wall wasn't here, and in the space you can see beyond me was a derelict static caravan that had been there over 25 years. And over the space of about 4 weeks, I single-handedly dismantled that caravan, and it was a lot of work. And with a friend, built this wall here, and the windows you can see here are all out of the caravan, so I recycled as much as I could, with the view that this would be a lovely place for a hide. And then the idea grew and grew, and before I knew it, I created this pretty special space. Not many people can say they've actually got a quarry on their land, and this is a pretty special space because it's almost like its own micro-habitat. So the whole area was limestone quarrying at one point, and this area was quarried. So I've got this beautiful space, and when I first moved in, it was completely overgrown down here and very, very wet and marshy in the middle sections. So I knew water gathered here. So when I built the second pond in the garden, I also dug out to create a pool here. And this is what we call an ephemeral pool, which means it's a naturally filled space. So during the winter or when it rains a lot, which it does in Wales generally, the pool fills up, and then during the summer months it will dry out. So it's dried out at the moment because we haven't had any rain for a few weeks, but as soon as it starts raining it will fill straight back up. And during some of the storms as well, I lost some of the big trees which were on the far bank. And whereas I was pretty upset about losing them, what it's done is open this area up even more. So suddenly I've got an area with lots of light flooding in, I've got water and real fantastic ingredients to basically attract even more wildlife onto my site. Right, we're now here at one of 3 ponds I've got on site, and I was lucky enough to have this one here already when I moved in, but it was much more ornamental, so more rectangular with raised areas all the way around. So I removed 3 of the side walls and pulled the liner back and then created this much more naturalised area, which is fantastic for birds, drinking and bathing, and also get a lot of frogs, tadpoles in the spring, and then damselflies and dragonflies in the summer. So it's a fab little pond, and if you do anything for wildlife in your garden, build yourself a pond. Now that pond is quite small, so I wanted to build something bigger, and this area seemed perfect. So this was just a sort of scrubby area with creeping comfrey and not a lot else. So I felt it was a perfect area. So hired a digger for 2 days with a friend, and this was one of the 2 extra ponds we built. Now, because I'm in a quarry area, very quickly we hit the rock bed. So what we did was we used all the fill from digging out to build this bank, and this bank is entirely planted up with plants that were already on site, so very naturalistic planting around. And it also means that if I'm filming or photographing, I can sit down low and look into it, and it's been an absolute godsend. Also, when we have heavy rain, which is quite a lot in Wales, it runs off of the field adjacent through down into this pond, and then I built this area so when the pond gets to a certain level it will overflow and then flows through the garden and out. But it's been an absolutely wonderful addition, and to me you can't have too many ponds in your garden. So welcome to headquarters. So not only have I got a beautiful site, but the whole place is wired with cameras. So at the moment I've got about 25 cameras installed, and those cameras are all cabled to a variety of network switches which are all over the land, and then they all centrally come back to this Hikvision NVR. So that is a network video recorder. So that network video recorder is basically recording everything that's happening at all my cameras. So not only can I watch them all the time, I can move all the cameras from here or from the app, and I can lift footage from them all. So there's increasing numbers of cameras monitoring so many different parts of my land.